ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to We'll Get Serious 18. I am your host, Gunnar, accompanied by the other host, Omega BR. Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Our wonderful sound producer, Mr. Yank of DDS.
Ooh, what? What's going on?
We're doing a show, Yank. We're not going to do it half-assed like last week.
Oh, you work blue one time. One time you talk about China's gigantic clitoris, and then, ooh, you're half-assing it.
We have news on China, actually, this week that we'll get to. Let me introduce our guest first. Hailing all the way from the internet, it's the one, the only, the net jester.
I was going to introduce myself by singing a Christmas ditty, but when follow up China's giant clitoris, it just sort of knocks the wind out of you.
Here's right. To be fair, nothing can follow China's clitoris.
Well, at least it's not as Mark Henry falling on you or the disappointment Big Show had this week, but we'll get to that in a moment. But for right now, let's get to the news. So, that Slammy Raw that we saw was definitely rewritten several times throughout the day, and at one point, Triple H wasn't even scheduled to appear. In other news, WWE hired a man named Andrew Judlison, who has worked for Sports Illustrated and the NHL, among others, as the new Executive Vice President of Sales and Partnership Marketing. Officials are looking at Judlison to help secure new endorsement deals for their superstars on a level we haven't seen before, at least as far as WWE goes. Basically, that means is, remember back, and you might have heard this from before, back in the early 2000s when Shelton Benjamin was getting hot, his friend was the guy who was very heavily involved in the Under Armour series of clothing and whatnot, and the Under Armour brand. And he approached the WWE to do a personal advertisement and be the poster boy for Under Armour. Well, they denied him that, and you see how popular Shelton Benjamin is now.
Damn, I didn't know anything about that. Would have been a nice little career step up from Mr. Gold Standard. Wonder why Vince didn't okay that. I mean, hell, it would have been more exposure for the WWE.
I can't imagine at all why they wouldn't okay that. Armour is a huge brand.
And this was before Under Armour was huge, but this guy is basically being brought in to get deals like that.
Well, let's hope Vince doesn't yuck it up this time.
In other news, former WWE Women's Champ Trish Stratus, her status was that she declined an invitation to prevent the Divalicious Moment of the Year Slammy Award alongside Lead on Monday. A source, quote, has stated that Stratus didn't want to do the travel involved from going all the way to Toronto to Virginia just to do a short cameo. I don't blame her.
Yeah, you can kind of understand that. And I don't think anybody really have a problem with Lita just going out there going solo, except for the crowd who was absolutely dead. Hey, what the hell's the matter with you? Anyway,
I have no idea.
Triple H comments on Raw, noting that he had ended the Undertaker's streak when Taker could not walk out under his own power at WrestleMania ladder, was the first step to building a Triple H Undertaker rematch for this year's WrestleMania. Word has it that the Undertaker will return in early 2012 to begin the program with Triple H. Oh, great. This match again?
Yeah, pretty much. Somebody else that shot a younger guy, just Undertaker at WrestleMania, still be a huge rub for somebody, and, well, I mean, I guess not Daniel Bryan's position since he's in now, which we'll of course get to later, but, somebody at that level that Bryan was at before, that would be a huge rub to them just to lose. to Taker. So I don't know why they think his final match, going 20-0, would be it would be a good idea to have Taker, or I'm sorry, have Triple H versus Taker again.
I personally, if this WrestleMania is going to be Taker's final WrestleMania, I wouldn't mind seeing another brother versus brother blowout, but for some damn reason, they got Kane knocking heads against Cena now. So,
Which we'll talk about later.
I think that's more along the lines of, them trying to get some space in between, now and when The Rock comes back, because we have like 2 months to build up The Rock coming back, and I hope that The Rock would be really smart and be around every week for about 6 weeks before WrestleMania. That'd be nice.
that'd be nice. I don't think that's going to happen, but that.
Into some W news. Kel Diaz defeated Audrey Marie, the Gory Bomb, at last night's Florida Championship Wrestling tapings to become the new Florida D champion. Vicky Guerrero, Diaz commented on her daughter's accomplishment, and she tweeted, "Shaw won her first championship last night and retains Queen of FCW. I'm so proud of her. Go, go, little Shaw Guerrero."
Indeed. How long do you think before they put her up?
Probably another year, year and a half, maybe.
And here's the $64 million question. Will they bring her up as Vicky's daughter, or will they give her some sort of batshit crazy bio that has nothing to do, and then we get, like, a year and a half down the road, some sort of soap opera twist, "I am your daughter."
You mean like they did with Perfect's kid? Where they don't even acknowledge that he's a hen egg?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they did that because, and I'm very, very happy with this decision, because he's not he basically, what they told him at one point is that they want him to wrestle like his dad, and when he starts wrestling like dad, he'll be able to get his name, and I think that's actually kind of smart, considering, because it's protecting that name. So if McGillibuddy over there fucks up, it's McGillibuddy. But if he becomes god tier, and actually matures as a wrestler, then you're going to come to find that he's actually quite awesome and actually deserving of the Mr. Perfect Junior, championship. It's like a junior in Mexico, basically, and it's the Americanized version of that.
Oh yes, before you can become Rey Mysterio, you must be Hummingbird and earn the name Rey Mysterio.
Well, speaking of FCW, Seth Tyler Black Rollins will be going on the road with the main WWE roster shortly. He'll be on the road for the post-holiday TV and house shows, so that WWE producers and management can get a first-hand look at his work. At this time, there is no confirmation that he will be brought up to the main roster full-time, but over the last few weeks, there's been more talk about Rollins internally.
Yes, his matches with Moxley have been praised highly.
All right, and speaking of which, WWE developmental wrestler Dean Ambrose competed in the first match before a WWE crowd at Friday's Super Show in Fort Myers, Florida. He lost to Daniel Bryan in a comedy match. The former John Moxley signed a developmental contract with the WWE in April and is considered one of the top wrestlers in Florida Championship Wrestling. His series of matches with Seth Rollins this year has garnered rave reviews.
Yes, rave reviews, not grave reviews. Those would be very, very bad.
Dum dum dum. Now here's one I find really, really fascinating. Business Insider magazine ranks CM Punk as its number 16 on their list of the 20 most valuable players in 2011 sports. They wrote 16 CM Punk. There was a brief stretch this summer where professional wrestling was relevant. Their words, not mine, folks. And that's all because of CM Punk. His feud with the WWE felt so real that he put the entire sport back in the spotlight. And when they mean feud with the WWE, they must mean feud with John Laurinaitis and his push against WWE stadyism, as most people call it.
Right, they're talking about when he took the title and left there, and that definitely was an amazing angle that they were going with. They kind of fucked it up. I wish they hadn't, but I mean, we talked about that then when it was happening. But yeah, I can totally see him being number 16 on that list. In another list, Guyism.com listed both The Rock and CM Punk on their list of the top 70 guys we wish we were in 2011. The Rock came in at number 17, while Punk came in at number 5. Hollywood actor Ryan Gosling got the number 1 spot of the year. Regarding Punk on the list, they noted CM Punk, the straight-edge champion of the WWE, kept things interesting in 2011 with his outspoken critique of the company, his feuds with John Cena and Alberto Del Rio, and his short-lived retirement from the company. With the year he's had, it's clear the WWE needs him. We just hope debuting a new theme song, Cult of Personality, is a sign the sober wrestler is back for good. Apparently this is kind of an old thing. He's had that song for a while now.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, basically. Lost my space.
WWE's website has a new storyline video up with Dr. Chris Amon. Is that? Yeah, Aman. He says the WWE cameraman that Mark Henry attacked on SmackDown, which we'll talk about, of course, suffered 3 broken ribs and will be out 2 to 3 months.
Yikes! Big guys attacking cameramen now? I mean, I remember when they fined you that back in the old days.
This happened on SmackDown, and we'll talk about that later.
Right now, I'll say that he definitely looked like a wrestler to me.
Probably some indie worker, and he's fine.
I think he's probably a local jobber.
Good news for you guys in Canada. WWE's 2012 Royal Rumble pay-per-view will air live in 60 movie theaters across Canada through Cineplex's Front Row Center series.
Oh man, I'd go for that.
And I think they still do it in America some places, but you really got to look. You got to find it in your cinema. And that's how people used to watch it, where they would go to like a movie theater and they'd pay like $10-15 and they'd be able to watch it with like, a bunch of other people. Oh, and THQ released the Divas DLC pack today for WWE 12. The pack features Trish Stratus, the Bella Twins, Vicky Guerrero, Alicia Fox, and Karma.
Yeah, apparently they only released that fucker on Xbox Live, because I've been checking the PSN all friggin' day and have not been able to get it yet.
Ugh.
There's breaking news for you.
PlayStation. Sure, we'll give you your connection to the network for free, but expect us to half-ass it as much as possible.
It's just something we've got to put up with. It's our lot in life being PSN lovers.
Speaking of
stories, go ahead, Gunnar. But I just want to note that it looks like you missed a couple stories there.
Did I? All right.
Yeah,
we'll get back to it. We'll get back to it.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Well, no, I don't have missed any stories there, my friend. Let's see here. Him telling me how to do my job. How silly. John Cena has continued to tweet on WWE's new anti-Cena t-shirts. If you haven't seen the picture, you should have by now. They wanted to do they wanted to since 2008. I told them no. Finally said I just said I don't care. I'm fine with the way things are. Some like me, some don't. Cena was asked by a fan if he felt disrespected by the new shirts. He replied, agreed, but WTF, ignore it no longer. It's out there, so those want to be like that should be able to voice their opinion. Like I said, it doesn't change me one bit. Stay true, always have, always will. Or when another fast about the possibility of WWE releasing some anti-rock t-shirts, he replied, I can tell you right now that would never happen. And that's very true, because it wouldn't ever happen. And
That's because nobody doesn't like The Rock.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to the extent
we will kick you off this show right now,
Oh, take it
Net
easy.
Jester.
Everybody's got an
Well,
opinion.
hold
I mean,
on.
after all, he's a movie star now.
It's to the extent of where they don't like you enough that they want you off their television. May I just make a point here? And for those of you who like the new shirt, which says "Let's go Cena" and in very small writing with a question mark, and then "Cena sucks" on the front. With on the back, it has the "You can't see me," but it's I can't see John Cena with John Cena in the position instead of the hand or whatever it is. Blah blah blah. Let me just remind you something. This is still a John Cena t-shirt. So if you purchase this shirt, you are still supporting John Cena.
Here, here.
So I would just like you to all remember that. And there are plenty of other shirts out there that, like the Keep Hating Cena shirt from one particular distributor who I particularly enjoyed their things, but I really wish I remember their name right now because they could have gotten a cheap free plug. Yeah, Keep Hating Cena. Go Google that and you'll probably find the t-shirt.
That would be Barbershop Window.
Thank you. And there are plenty of other shirts out there where you can express your hate towards John Cena. However, you do not need to support John Cena with the official WWE anti-John Cena shirt. There you go.
Sort of twisted logic. Something out of a political playbook right there.
It's just kind of funny to me because, I mean, they have all these Cena haters and then, hey, I don't mind you guys hating me now because you're putting money in my pocket.
Exactly.
All right. Moving right along here. More John Cena news. A photo surfaced online this week of John Cena on the front of a Fruity Pebbles cereal box. This is a real thing. WWE hasn't announced a partnership with Post Cereals yet, and there was some speculation that the photo was fan-created. However, a fan asked John Cena on Twitter this weekend if it was ironic that he was featured on the Fruity Pebbles box. He replied, indicating that it is indeed official. There were several other messages on Twitter this weekend hinting that Cena may be appearing on the cereal box for some kind of charity. We hope to have some kind of confirmation soon. Whether or not Cena is really on the front of the box, yes, he is. Cena wrote back to the fan, ironic? No. Turning a negative to a positive? Yes. Rise above hate. By the way, I love Fruity Pebbles.
Everybody loves Fruity Pebbles.
In about 10 seconds, I'm going to start breaking out singing the opening song from Neon Genesis Evangelion. I swear.
No, and no. This is an interesting ploy. I would guess that it would be Make-A-Wish would be the particular charity that they'd be supporting. But if you found the picture, which we should be posting up on our video feed here now. See, look, there's the picture. And we probably have the other picture of the Cena Sucks shirt. You know, that would be nice too. You know, post it right there, and then you switch back to the other one because what I'm talking about is Fruity Pebbles. The Fruity Pebbles shirt, Fruity Pebbles box. It's very interesting to me that he's on this cover because embracing the hate, huh, John?
Pretty much, yeah. This one's interesting to me just because it seems like it's been a long time since there was any kind of any kind of wrestling partnership with any kind of cereal or something. It used to happen all the time back in the 80s with, you know, Hogan and all them, and then I think WCW was more into it in the late 90s, but yeah, I mean, it's not like it's just John Cena on the box. It's like Wheaties or something. It's an actual, you know, if you buy so many boxes, you can send in and try and win some T-shirts or, you know, an autograph or something like that.
Well, in other news, Steve Austin will star alongside Steven Seagal in Maximum Conviction. The action pic will be directed by Keone Waxman and produced by Seagal, Austin, and Philip Goldfine. Uh, in the film, Austin and Seagal work for a private security firm charged with decommissioning an old prison. They all but complete the task until two mysterious female prisoners arrive, followed by elite mercenaries who are hunting them down. It kind of sounds like The Rock. Not the wrestler, but the movie.
Kinda, yeah.
Wait, wasn't Seagal already in a movie about a prison?
Not that familiar with Steven Seagal. All I know
Yes,
is
he
he's
was.
a dick.
And it had Ja Rule in it.
Wait, is that the one where
Okay.
Batista shot him?
I think so.
Wow, this is going
Oh.
down quick.
Also, I guarantee you that 90% of the footage with Steven Seagal in it will be his stuntman. If he's not talking, it will be his stuntman. And when he is talking, it will probably be overdubbed by somebody else completely
And
in
it'll
the
be
sound
his
studio.
stuntman.
Yeah, it'll be a stuntman.
Although
don't do
I
my
did
own
enjoy
talking
Steven
bits.
Seagal. Yeah. I did enjoy Steven Seagal Lawman for some odd reason. I don't know if it's a masochist in me or what, but it was okay.
CM Punk posted the following on Twitter last night. Very proud right now proud of at WWE Daniel Bryan, proud of at Zack Ryder, proud of my crew of talented hard workers at Find Evan, at True Kofi, and a ton of others. Tonight was a great step toward the future of the wrestling business. That change I've been talking about started.
Well, it's good that he's giving a pop to D. Bry and Zack Ryder. Like I said, I'm not Punk's biggest fan, but I gotta admit, he has been keeping his word when he gives pops to other people for the good shit that they've done. So, yeah, I'll give him a plus in my book for this one. Alrighty, now this next one's pretty interesting, I think. Speaking to the WWE magazine, Big Sexy Kevin Nash explains why he managed to withstand Father Time, which has allowed him to secure plum roles in the image-conscious WWE at the age of 52. I've been blessed with an Indian heritage, and I haven't aged much, actually. And keep in mind the fact that I'm talking to you in front of the gym. I go to the gym every day. I eat a clean diet. Today, I weigh 282 pounds, and I haven't weighed that since I was 22 years old, says the six-time world heavyweight champion. People who have seen me with gray hair thought I was old. Then, when I dyed it, they said, "Oh, wow, he doesn't look that old anymore." But here's what I don't understand. We have a segment sponsored by Just for Men, and the fans chant that when I come out, and they're not doing something. I just don't get it. Does anyone not see the correlation there? Wouldn't it be more advantageous for them to put my beard and mustache on a box and say, "Hey, you're up next"? And I do a 5-minute cover my gray routine in front of the camera? But no, have to leave it to the Madison Avenue guys.
I could see him doing something like that. I actually think that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be good for like a comedy bit type thing if he's talking about doing it during the show, like right before his match. He's in his dressing room, dyeing his goatee. That would be cool, but I don't know for like what he's doing. Well, I guess not right now since he's out, but for what he's been doing, I don't think that would work.
And this next one's going to be good news for a lot of fans of Skip Sheffield. The former
Yep.
There you go. The former WWE NXT star, who has been expected to return to WWE TV soon, wrote several cryptic messages on his Twitter this weekend, mentioning "It Begins" and hitting at his Ryback Terminator character. He wrote, "Sitting in a chair at a table in Sin City, wondering why this ladder is in front of me. Laughing at the gossip, the secret power, it begins. Who am I? Only time will tell. But rest assured, Knock Boys, I'm not a Terminator sent to save John Connor. I also hate College Station at fake. I refuse to type it. WID is fake. Accept and forgot. My life, my rules, born and raised in Sin City. Soon a psycho will be unleashed. Patience.
Yeah, I think he was doing some gonzo journalism while he was there in good old Las Vegas.
I don't know if it was Gondo journalism he was doing or something more that Hunter S. Thompson would do. And I'm not talking about journalism.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
that was the joke. Thanks for explaining it, asshole.
Hey!
I love you, NJ.
In other news, an update on that. Skip has deleted all of those tweets.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
really?
he was probably drunk or something.
Oh, my dear Lord. Get out the hand cannon. We need to send another person to heaven.
Oh boy. So ready for a Batista rant?
Yay!
Not really, but go ahead anyway.
Batista recently said on here that he has his own line of energy drink products coming out.
Insert your protein shake jokes here, people.
I'm kidding, but he did say on Twitter. So to clear up any misunderstanding about me hating on Daniel Bryan, actually, I've been a supporter of his for years. Unlike most of you Johnny-come-lately smart mark supporters, we actually had a hell of a match together that was originally supposed to be a squash match until this broken down ex-bodybuilder who never deserved to be champion and only had it handed to me because Triple H was my boy refused the job to kid out because I knew how good he was and wanted to have a fucking match with him before I left the company. At a hell of a match, we had to where our respective places in the company were at the time. So yes, I'm aware of all of his accomplishments and hard work throughout the years. I'm thrilled to death for him. But still, World Heavyweight Champion? Okay. Opinions are like assholes. My Twitter account, my opinion, and to all the bitch-ass haters who dogged me out and bitch how horrible it was, I worked with Triple H, The Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, Stone Cold, Edge, Johnson, Chris Benoit, Chris fucking Flair, etc., etc., etc. And they respected me and my work. Eddie Guerrero respected my work, so don't expect your bullshit remarks to actually carry any weight with you bitch-ass faces.
So,
Okay.
I wonder, just for a second, to think this back a little bit. When he actually made the remark about D. Bry that kicked all this off, do you think he was just, playing, shooting his mind, or was he just sort of giving D. Bry a bump in his own way?
No, he was being an asshole. And then this is just him covering his ass. The whole idea that he was on his way out and then decided on his own that he wanted to job to Bryan is definitely bullshit. Because everybody knows that if you're on your way out, there's only one way to go out, and that's your back. Even Ric Flair went out on his back.
True. Oh, by the way, don't say on your back to Batista. Might give him flashbacks to one of his old girlfriends. Or to his daughter, for that matter.
Oh god, don't even bring that up. That was terrible.
Or that rape angle.
Oh, yes.
I find it funny that he goes on a rant about things that nobody even really brought up, that they have before, but, the old X only got the title because Triple H was his friend, etc., etc. All this stuff, and then he still says the exact same thing. He's like, I respect Bryan, he's great, I put him over, but champion, okay.
He doesn't buy it. He didn't buy his.
So it's not like he really denied it, or he denied it and then he went and said the exact same thing.
Exactly, damning him with faint praise.
So, hey, yank him. Yeah, I know there's a Shawn Michaels that you wanted to talk about. Why don't you talk about it?
Okay, so Shawn Michaels tweeted earlier today that he had the WWE Network crew in his house. He said they were doing multiple interviews, apparently for the various programming, and he wanted to know if he was going to get the channel for free. He also recently spoke with the WWE.com site about his various classic WrestleMania matches, which one he would prefer to do. Sorry, I was holding the control button down while I scrolled. He would prefer to do over, and who he thinks is likely to take his place as next showstopper. Here are some highlights of it. He said his entrance to the WrestleMania 10 match with Razor Ramon. He said over the years that ladder match itself become the central figure of that particular stipulation, but in our situation it served as a backdrop for something much bigger. We were two guys claiming rightful ownership over those titles, and ladder was just there as a way for us to prove who was the best. Now the ladder is the primary element, and these matches are often about what the contestants can do with it. On which match he would like to do over, he said, the one I always come back to is my match with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14. I just wasn't in a great place physically or emotionally. That one could have been so much more. Steve didn't get me at my best, and that's unfortunate because it was the last time I got to work with him. Steve went on to such great things afterwards, and I had an opportunity to make that match so much more. When he was asked about the next showstopper, he said, I never like these questions because I always feel like I'm leaving someone out. But I will say that I could watch Randy Orton, John Cena over and over again. Randy has come so far, and his persona is so strong and dark. I look into his eyes, and he's got me. Some of the matches contested between John and Randy have been phenomenal, and that's it.
I gotta admit, I've just missed the goofy, kind of stupid Shawn Michaels. You know, if he had like his own show on the WWE Network, maybe a comedy routine, hell, some sort of a sitcom, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Well, he's got that hunting show. I cannot remember what channel it's on, but you should Google and find
Outdoor
out.
Life Network.
Even if you don't like hunting shows, you'd probably like his show because, I mean, it's Shawn Michaels.
He still does the goofy segments on there too, which is the really fun part. All right, moving over into TNA.
Short TNA segment time.
Jesse Neal officially finished up with TNA at Monday's Impact taping following the match with Gunner. Neal decided to leave the company following a request to relocate to Louisville, Kentucky to work out of OVW as a part of TNA's new developmental system. Now, I'm going to bitch because, all right, OVW signed a great little contract thing with Impact. They sent Anarchia and Rob Terry there recently. However, think about it this way. Impact pays those guys, the Anarchias and the Rob Terrys, very, very little money. You would probably make the same amount of money if you were working some job, you know, and you like a full-time job somewhere, you know, doing something kind of stupid, like, you know, $10-12 an hour or something like that. And then they asked those guys to uproot from Tampa, where it's a wrestling hotbed, to Louisville, Kentucky, which isn't exactly it's in that little, you know, Midwestern zone of territories, and like within a 500-mile radius, I'm sure that there's a hell of a lot of wrestling in there. However, it's kind of ridiculous to ask somebody to go do that, and Jesse Neal thought it was too much. So there you go.
Well, as somebody that lives in this area and can tell you about its history with wrestling, yeah, I could see where he would say, okay, well, you signed me to TNA, and now you're sending me to OVW. But I don't think it's really so much of a step down that he should be like, well, no, I don't want to do this. Uh, Really, I think he could have done a lot of good for himself and for OVW to go and spend some time there and come back to Orlando.
To me, it just seems like an insult as opposed to an actual, hey, I want you guys to go get better thing. I mean, in the case of Anarchia and Rob Terry, yeah, those guys needed to go get better. However, Jesse Neal was on that cusp where you could say he could get better and you could say that he couldn't get better, and he doesn't exactly need OVW to get better. He just needed more TV time and whatnot, etc., etc., etc.
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword because here's a guy who's on food stamps, right? And it can be very costly to move around a lot, especially, you go to Louisville and do that whole thing, and then you go back to TNA. It really kind of comes down to, is Jesse Neal, if TNA was really a big company with, all the opportunities to hire the big-name people, would Jesse Neal be one of them? Probably not. But at the same time, if Jesse Neal as an established sort of star in TNA, tag team and all this and that, is it a little bit insulting for them to ask him to go do this in more of a get better, not you would help people get better context? Then yeah, maybe a little bit, but it really just comes down to TNA not being a place where you can really unless you came from up north, really being a place where you can make your career or make a living, really.
Well, you could if you want to work at Sunglasses Hut too. Maybe be some wait staff at the Olive Garden.
Famous Dave's barbecued ribs.
Polanco.
I'm sure the tips in Orlando are great.
In other news, when last week, or this Thursday on Impact, Jeff Jarrett gets fired. But people assume that it was only Jeff to be fired via storyline, since he's overseeing TNA's satellite promotion based in India. More on that in a little bit. Which is conducting television tapings this week and next month. Karen Jarrett was also fired this week off of television, and she is actually scheduled to go under the knife on her foot, which will keep her sidelined indefinitely, hence why Sting fired both of them this week.
Oh, what the hell's wrong with her foot?
Too far up Jarrett's ass.
Oh. Maybe, you know what it was? Whenever her and Kurt were still together, I bet he would tap it from the back and put her in the ankle lock at the same time, and that old injury is just acting up again.
Okay, this is bringing up mental images too crude even for the viewers of Woo. Anyway, when Kim left the WWE, she criticized the organization for their lack of faith in women's wrestling. Sports Vibes asks Winner if she shares the same sentiment. Winner said, "I would say that the standard of female wrestling in the WWE isn't as good as TNA. But I would argue that there is opportunity for the girls in the WWE to showcase what they can do. Every now and again, WWE would have a great storyline with women or a great pay-per-view match, and then other times when you watch Raw, you have a blink and you miss it if the girls were wrestling," she says. In TNA, there's a lot more opportunity for the girls to showcase what they can do, and there are a lot more storylines for the Knockouts division. A lot of the time on Impact, there are at least two girls' matches. Winner also compared the two bosses she worked for, Vince McMahon and Dixie Carter. "I really haven't had much contact with Vince apart from the days meeting and about the storylines and character ideas. I wouldn't really say I got to know him as a person. Dixie is very approachable, and she has always been around and is super friendly. She has a lot more of a personal relationship with all the wrestlers."
Why does your English accent keep sounding like Georgian?
I have no idea.
Yet Georgia is Soviet territory.
Not that Georgia. Anyhow, I should have known that was coming I stepped right into it.
Just like a fucking landmine. Way to go, Yanko.
Anyhow, that pretty much sums it up. Uh, WWE doesn't really give a shit about their women's wrestlers. They're divas, because they're hot chicks. They don't give a shit about them. That's why they have shitty fucking ass fuck like fucking Alicia Fox fucking pinning Beth Phoenix.
But the worst botch I've fucking seen on live TV in a while.
Jesus, titty fucking Christ in a handbasket. It was terrible.
47 seconds, 47 seconds, 47 seconds.
And then the previous week, she does that what is it? It's like a flipping leg drop kind of thing, right? And she hits Natty right in the fucking face. Fucking put her back in training. Give her fucking shit gold dust. Give her gold dust. Make her get in the fucking ring with Dusty and just fucking, this is how you run the ropes. This is how you do your fucking finisher that you keep fucking up. Not getting on TV until you fucking do it right.
And it also should be that her match this week with Beth wasn't just short. She did that flippy ship thing again with her and put a nasty bump up the side.
Oh
of
my
Beth's
god!
face.
You noticed it too.
There was an actual article. Twitter. Beth Phoenix posted a picture of herself all bruised up and swollen, and basically says that Alicia Fox basically stiffed her and gave her a fucking potato, and it looked nasty. And Alicia Fox responded back, "Haha, you bitch." Basically,
what a
paraphrase.
fucking cunt.
Didn't hear that part, but
I'll hit you harder next time, or something like that was said. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about TNA. And we're going to talk about the TNA promotion, the new India one that's actually looking really interesting and a lot better than what I think it should be. Matt Morgan stated on Twitter that TNA's wrestling offshoot India promotion is named Ring Ka King. Ring Ka King, which means King of the Ring. He, as well as several other talents, including Mickey James, Magnus, Harry Smith, Luke Gallows, Chavo Guerrero, and Sean Davari are in Mumbai this week, taping the first footage for their planned debut on the television network Colors. Regarding the experience, Morgan said, Ring King's first TV show went really well, and he's getting one hell of a wrestling product. Roster is great one, and Demal has done a superb job of creating a different TV look altogether. What's really cool is getting a chance to work with guys that I started with in the business at the same time in OVW on. Magnus added, the setup blew me away. It looks great. Atmosphere was incredible too. Jeremy Porash is also on hand for the festivities. He commented the crowd in India was fucking nuts and the set is sick. Mr. Master says his character for TNA Wrestling's offshoot promotion in India is similar to his past Masterpiece persona. He tweeted, India's has been awesome. I've been the American Adonis out here. Basically, a throwback to the old Masterpiece. I'm loving being asshole again. Masterpiece. I love that gimmick.
So surprisingly enough, Ring Ka King here sounds like it's going to be that damn good. I'm can't wait to see this on an internet near me sometime soon. But with all the established stars that we have and some up and comers, does anybody know if they're going to have more of an international flavor? Are we going to get wrestlers from India? Are we going to get wrestlers from Japan or Australia? Any other places?
There was a list of people. I think we might have said it on last week's news. There was a list of people announced for this thing, and it was pretty long. So, and there's a bunch of people on there. A lot of Indian people. There was a tag team from the NWWA promotion up in Vancouver that were coming in. Sean Davari and his brother, and like a couple others. No Kali, just so you know. But moving right along and jumping out of the TNA topic and into the rest of the news. We have former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar was recently pled guilty to improper tagging of an animal. He was charged from a hunting trip in November 2010, and Lesnar had 2 other charges dropped. Brock will pay a fine of $1,725, and his hunting license will be suspended for the next 6 months. Mind you, this was in Canada, so his hunting license in Canada is now suspended because he was doing something, terrible with animals.
Shooting them?
Yes, shooting them. We'll call it that. He was just it was maybe some out of season stuff, and he was keeping a pelt or something like that he shouldn't have, and he probably just shot something he couldn't have, and shot it out of season or whatever. Ring of Honor has officially begun advertising former WWE diva Maria Kanellis for Final Battle 2011. The show takes place.
Wait, stop.
Yes.
Let me just get it in now. Fuck yeah, Maria.
The show takes place this Friday night from the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. This will also be an IP-per-view, which you can order at gfl.tv.
And at the Hammerstein, Jesus, titty fucking Christ, that's awesome.
She will be in the corner of her boyfriend. Is it Elgin or Bennett? I forgot who. Well, one of the two for the TV title match.
Boyfriend. Aww.
Yeah. Maria's already said this to an extent when she was on AfterBuzz TV this week after Raw. Nice little plug about her being in the corner of her boyfriend. What shenanigans will ensue is anybody's guess, but she said she's got this real nice number she's going to wear there. And somebody at the Hammerstein Ballroom, if you're listening to this podcast, we are begging you right now, bring a camera. Then when you get home, post this shit, because we want to see pretty pictures of Maria.
Speaking of pretty pictures,
oh God, I slammed right into that one, didn't I? Oh dear Lord!
Champion China performed on stage. Performed on stage last Saturday at the Deja Vu Club in San Diego. And she was billed outside as WWE wrestler China Naked.
It is worth noting that the San Diego Deja Vu Showgirls is, of course, a strip club. And I don't know. We thought that doing porn, things couldn't get much worse. But if she's also doing porn and traveling as a stripper, one wonders if ads at backstage.com or her next step.
Well, basically.
You are now imagining a strip club full of men pointing and whispering in each other's ear. Is that her clit?
Well, let's put it this way. China is doing her adult movie career. She's very happy in her adult movie career. She's pleased with it. There was an interview recently that I read where she found herself being very happy with what she's doing. According to one rumor that I've heard, it was you could get 20 if you paid $20, you'd get a topless picture next to her. She'd be the one topless, not you.
I hope so.
And let's see what else. And she's happy with what she's doing, and she loves Vivid Entertainment. And if there was a match, and if she's ready for one more match, but she's just got to wait for the person to come back, to somebody to come back to her and give her one more match. So
real quick, before we go any further, has she done more than just the one film right now?
Just one film, but last week we reported that she was going for about $20,000 an hour.
Holy crow.
No, I think it was $20,000 for the whole weekend, wasn't it?
Or for a day or something like that, yeah. Okay, fun thing here. Hulk Hogan has found himself on the worst Christmas movie of all time list. Fandango.com ran a poll for the worst Christmas movie ever, and Hogan's 1996 movie Santa with Muscles placed at number 5, between Ernest Saves Christmas and Jack Frost.
Oh, and that's freaking saying something.
I guarantee you. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's the whole list, and I can tell you right now that this list is wrong because Jingle All the Way is not at number 1.
I don't know,
But
man.
the list itself, real quick. Number 10, Christmas with the Cranks. Number 9, Surviving Christmas. Number 8, Deck the Halls. Number 7, Home Alone Part 3. Number 6, Ernest Save Christmas. Of course, number 5, Santa with Muscles. Number 4, Jack Frost. Number 3, Jingle All the Way. Number 2, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Which
And
was an
number
awesome
1,
movie.
And number 1, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Silent Night, Deadly Night gets a bad rap, but it's actually not that bad of a slasher flick, especially considering it was the first holiday-themed slasher flick, predating Halloween even.
I think That Christmas deserves to be on that list instead of Jingle All the Way. That's a classic.
Nothing deserves to be on that list more than Jingle All the Way. And
Okay,
Ernest Saves
let's beat
Christmas
up
should
on-
not be on that list. It's awesome too.
Okay, let's beat up on Arnold later.
So there you go, a little Christmas cheer for everyone. And a couple here's a big news bit that I actually wanted to mention. For those with the UK, you're probably listening to us, give the ratings off every week, as well, why the fuck do we care? We're in the UK, we're better than you, Amerifox. So hey UK, I've got the ratings for you for the entire month of November. So here you go. Basically, Raw on the 7th was seen by 119,000 viewers. Well, on November 14th was 146,000 viewers. On the 21st, it was seen by 124,000 viewers. And on the 28th, it was seen by 102,000 viewers. SmackDown had 111,000 viewers on the 11th. On the 18th, it had 83,000. On the 25th, it had 78,000. The holiday special on November 29th was seen by 82,000 viewers with the live airing, while 58,000 saw it on the usual Friday night time slot. Sky did air replays between the live showing and the Friday replay. TNA did 140,000 on November 10th, 154,000 on November 17th, 135,000 on the 24th. The Tuesday replay on that one drew 156,000 on the 77,000, and the Impact from December 1st drew 222,000 viewers. Turning Point drew 150,000 viewers, and it was down from 29,000 from the February viewership. Basically, TNA continues its dominance in the UK.
Proving that people in the UK will watch anything.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to see, the ratings. I mean, it's not really comparable considering that Sky and Bravo, or whatever the fuck TNA is on now, has more viewers than Sky does or something like that. And that's why there's a discrepancy between the two and blah, 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 blah. And the fact that they're coming on at 2 a.m. or something, especially with Raw, because it's Raw. And I just thought that would be interesting for you guys to hear.
Wow, that is something you really didn't expect that there would be. Is it just the fact that you think that the networks have bigger viewership and that's what brings in the extra viewers? Or do people in the UK really like the TNA brand better than they like the WWE brand?
Well, I think it's equal, to be honest. We'll have to get Red on here and answer this question. But yeah, that's quite interesting to me at least. And we'll end the news this week with a very, very, very good thing. And no, it's not DDP selling YRG for 75% off. Mind you, go if you like yoga and you like that crap, buy YRG or Trish Stratus's program, because those two need some fucking plugs. Highspots.com has licensed fan cam footage from Extreme Championship Wrestling and release it in DVD volumes. The footage features many ECW stars, such as Sandman Taz, Tommy Dreamer, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, The Dudleys, Public Enemy, Chris Jericho, and more. So in other words, there is footage that WWE does not have from ECW that's fan cam footage, and High Spots is releasing it.
All right.
Can they do that? It seems like since WWE owns all of the copyrights associated with ECW and probably most of the gimmick names and stuff now, that they're not gonna they're not gonna be able to sell something like that.
I was just about
for
to
God's
say,
sake, the Dudleys can't even call themselves the Dudleys anymore.
yeah, I was about to say this on
That's
his
the thing.
face.
The WWE doesn't own that footage, and they could produce that footage no matter if they've got a copyright or not on it.
Well, what I'm saying is, well, I guess it's not going to have the announcements and that stuff in it. Or the announcers rather. So, I guess it just seems like they're going to have stuff that the WWE does have copyright in there. I mean, the wrestlers' names and the ECW logo and things of that nature.
Well, it'll be real interesting to see exactly how they license it and how they package it and how they sell it, whether or not they can go with, like you said, the ECW logo, or they have to make some sort of other, like, fan artist CW logo, something like that. And it'll be interesting to see.
Them releasing a produced product. This is fan cam footage from ECW shows that were not put on television, so you don't have to worry about it too much.
No, we get that, but the point is that they're filming things that have stuff that WWE does hold copyrights over, is what I'm saying.
It'll be fine. I'm sure that if High Spots couldn't do this, they wouldn't do this, but they're doing it, and I'm happy. Because that's more ECW footage.
I'm just hoping the WWE's lawyers don't decide to go fucking with them over it.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, Omega.
Yes.
You watched Impact, right?
I to be honest, I actually kind of skimmed it this week, but I know there were a few important things that happened. Being, it was the show after a pay-per-view, so of course this is where everything good happens.
Right. Would you care to run down with me our traditional 5-minute Impact review?
Yes, of course. The main thing that happened is that TNA announced a wild card tag team tournament to determine the next contenders to the tag team titles. The champions, of course, being Crimson and Matt Morgan, and of course wild card. That means they pick random people, mash them together, and it's an interesting thing that they do from time to time. If not, it just gives people something to do, I guess. Kind of like that old Bound for Glory series, and that worked out real well. But, so we had a lot of those matches here tonight. Like, Abyss and Scott Steiner were teamed up. There's a wacky pair, and Hernandez and Rob Terry, they got beat by them. And, I think ODB was on a team.
Oh, yes.
He's on a team with
Eric Young.
Yes.
That actually sounds interesting.
The segment with Eric Young and ODB was actually something watchable, so go watch that. Douglas Williams and Robbie E are a team, but they were defeated by Samoa Joe and Magnus. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Samoa Joe got a victory on TNA. Get that.
Well, there's a real wild card team, just because I don't think either man has actively had a winning role on television in over, 17 months?
Or something like that. By the way, the rating was a 1.14, pretty average. Let's see here. They started off the night with a Robert Roode, AJ Styles. The next, the pay-per-view ended with a draw, basically a 3-3 draw. And what we got as the first match of the night was the 5-minute overtime. Instead of doing it on the pay-per-view, they did it on Impact. I guess that's the theme for TNA.
WTF, yeah.
And of course, the 5 minutes ended, and so Sting came out and put 5 more on the clock, as if they haven't done that one before.
And Robert won, basically. Nothing to really report here. The fact that
he
AJ
by submission, but didn't he do something to?
Yeah, he
gain
did something
leverage?
cheeky. I forgot what it was. Let's see here. Yeah, like I said before, Sting fired threats. And Devon and Hope. That angle progressed. Ugh. And in your main event, Jeff pinned Billy Ray, which was actually a good match and a good promo segment. So there you go.
And we also had an X Division match, which they kind of go all over the place with the X Division, but it's a best of 3 series between Zima Ion and Tony Nese, and whoever wins the series doesn't get the next shot at the belt. He gets a spot in a 4-way match at Genesis, along with Austin Aries, Kid Cash, and Jesse Sorensen, who I guess have already qualified.
Yes. All right, and so that is your Impact this week, and your news. So stay tuned. We're going to SmackDown.
All right, something I actually watch.